So hi, thank you for being with us. I'm excited to learn more about HANA certification, how this will look like in future and what's in for our users, right?
Yeah.
So stage is yours, enjoy stage time.
Thank you, Thomas. So for the people who don't know me, my name is Bouten. Oh, sorry, and that's the way you write it, if the laser pointer is working, not today. But yeah, I'm from SAP Learning. I'm a trainer teaching the HANA on-prem courses, HANA cloud courses in the administration area, also doing the course development for these courses. And then the HANA cloud courses are all available on the learning.sap.com platform. And I'm also then responsible for the certification, that's why I'm here. And as you know, over the last, I think 15 years or so, we had those 80 questions certifications. In the beginning, they were very difficult, because nobody knew the questions. Over time, everybody knew the questions, so the certifications became easier and easier. And we only tested then what you as a person could memorize. And this is now changed, and that's the Reimagined certification where I'm going to talk about. So what is that Reimagined certification? And then we're going to see that we now have those practical exams. For the SAP HANA area, we have the system-based practical exams. And I think definitely for admins, this will be a perfect fit, because you really can show what you know from HANA, because you have to really do it in the system. Then what we got as feedback, that sometimes people found it kind of difficult on the website to actually log on to learning.sap.com, make sure that you then set up the certification correctly. So that's why I'm going to give a live demo, and hopefully it really works, this live demo. And then I'm going to show you how to set up a slot, then also how to make sure that you are registering correctly all these things. And then as the end, I have lots of links in 3 slides where you then can have a look where all the important things that you need for the certification are in there. But first, it's Reimagined certification. So no more 80 questions. You really have to go and show that you know how to work actually on your daily job. It's not like, oh, I know 80 questions and 80 answers and that's it, I'm certified. Yes, that was the old days. Now you really have to prove that you can do the basic tasks for, in my case, administration or HANA modeling. And this is then the idea behind it. We started this mid-2025 as a project. Then for the TechEd, it was November 2025, the first 7 certifications were ready. Actually, there were 8 ready, but they didn't elect me for the 8th one. So we had to wait until April, where the big launch was for everything else. But the certification was ready. It was challenging to get this new idea there that you have tasks for the people who do the certification. They have to perform those tasks in a system. That was actually kind of easy. Writing the tasks, it's like the exercises that you would do in a training class, but then making them also testable. And then making sure that you have a test script that can, from externally, connect to the system and see if you did all the work correctly. So that was then the idea behind it. No more 80 questions, really tell us and show us that you know how to do your work. And then not all the extremely exceptional cases, because that's for the super experts. Certifications are meant for the people who are starting with SAP HANA, and that they can show us that they can actually do the work as well as a junior consultant in a project. So that was then the idea behind it. Then also a lot of things changed. The normal certifications with 80 questions, they were proctored. And this morning you said, yeah, I had to show my whole room, I have to move the monitor, I had to sit with the back to the door and all these kind of things. That's not the case anymore. It's non-proctored. So you can sit wherever you want. You get the PDF where the tasks are in, and you go into the system and you perform these tasks. And when you're done, you say, okay, I'm done. And then we have a look at what you've done in the system. And if it's good enough, then you pass. If it's not good enough, you fail and you have to do it again. It's also open book, so that makes it easier. Not really. Because there's so much content that you have to go through that you don't make it in the 2 or 3 hours that the certification session is. So yes, open book is good. So if you quickly want to check something, that's possible. But going to all the 14 tasks in my HANA administration, and then first starting to read the whole HA200 and HC200 course materials, you won't make it in the 2 hours. Also now, they're going to introduce Joule for Consultants for the certification. So then you are allowed to even use Joule for Consultants. That makes it really easier, because Joule of Consultants is actually trained on the training on the course material, so he knows the answers. Is that a problem? No. But then it would be too easy. So in the future, I think in a few months' time, this certification that I'm showing you will also get Joule for Consultant, but then the cut score will go up a little bit more. So you have to do it really perfect. But then again, in the admin world, there's only it works or doesn't work. A backup is correct or backup is wrong. Other options we don't have. And then there are 2 options, system-based and scenario-based. The system-based is that you really get a system, a live system. In my certification, you get an empty BTP sub-account, and there you have to perform all the tasks. In other certifications, you get a BTP global account where you do have some tasks. Sometimes in the more ERP certifications, you get an ERP system where you have to work on. So there's an SAP HANA cloud system where you have to perform certain tasks. The scenario-based certifications, they are more for the people who are architects. They have to think about explaining how you would do something. And this is not something that you really can do directly in the system. So that's why those scenario-based, they are actually like a job interview. An AI is asking you questions. You have to respond to these questions. The AI will then look at your answers, even sometimes ask more deeply for, okay, you said this and this, but explain it a little bit more to me. And then it's a session of also 2 hours. And if you then give all the correct answers with enough detail, then also the AI will evaluate this and say if you're passed or not. So where do you have to think about if you do this system-based? System-based certifications are normally 2 or 3 hours. Most of them are currently running for 3 hours, so that's plenty of time. And if you say, oh, nice presentation, I want to try this immediately, that doesn't work. There's a time frame of 3 hours before you actually can go into the certification. We have to set up the system and stuff. So that's why then it takes a little bit more. But if you know, I want to do this next week, then you just plan the slot for next week, the time that you want, and then you're fine. You have to make sure that you enter your slot and claim your slot 15 minutes before and up to 1 hour after. I'm a little bit under time pressure because I set up my slot for 4 o'clock and it's now 10 past, so I have to do it quickly. And then everything goes more or less automatically. So the other things is, and also for the scenario-based, the big difference there is you can go in right now. Then you get the AI, he will ask you some questions, and then you answer the questions, and then you can retry it a few times if you want during that session, and then the AI will evaluate this for you, and then you pass or you fail. So for the system-based certification, you have to go to the learning.sap.com. I have 2 different browser sessions open here with a test account, because the first thing I want to show you is how you actually then can search for a certification. So the certification where I'm looking for is the C_DB ADM. It would show up here. Explains what the certification is, and the most important thing here is actually have a look at the learning journey. because the learning journey explains what you need to learn before you go and try the certification. If you're convinced you will pass, then of course, here we have to go to certification exam button, and you can go in directly. It gives you some hints. You need to have the universal ID set up correctly and all these kind of things. Actually, the universal ID is probably the most difficult part of the whole certification. But if you then pass that one, and you have your universal ID, you continue, and then you can have a slot. So it tells me that I want to perform the certification here. I have 4 attempts or 4 left, so schedule a slot. It gives me a time. Okay, you can do it like this. Tonight at 7 o'clock. No way. I want to go home, so... Oh no, there's a party afterwards, so we're going to party. So then you choose, just pick another time, so maybe next Sunday, and then you continue, you get the time frame, you pick one that you like. So 7 o'clock in the morning, because the other times are not really for me. I'll say schedule slot. Then it says, okay, you really want to have this slot on Sunday morning, or Sunday morning, 7 o'clock? Yeah, of course. Working for SAP, so. And then it says it's booked. So if you then want to check if this booking really worked, you go to your account, and there you see my certifications. And it tells me, yeah, you have your scheduled slot on this time. You can even review the details. And also you can give it back. So if you then think, Sunday morning, 7 o'clock, I'm not crazy, then you can just give it back and you will not lose your certification attempt. A lot of people think that they will lose it. No, it's only if you do it like 5 minutes before. Then they say, okay, we already arranged everything. So if you do it at plenty of time before that, no problem. But because I had to wait at least 3 hours, I already set up on another account a certification. And that was then planned for, and it's gone. That's not so fun. Because actually it should have stayed until like 5 o'clock. It seems to be that the text on the website is not correct because it's already gone. So I don't have a complete slot. Then I have to go into my browser. And we'll start the send recording that I have. It takes a little bit more time than expected, but sorry for that. I really hope that it was really doing that 1 hour thing, and it didn't. In the meantime, when that one is loading, I will just go to my rest of my presentation. Because one thing that's really important is before you do the certification, go through the learning journey. The learning journey specifies exactly which training courses you need to go through before you should actually go to the certification. I listed up all the courses here, so you see the course HC200, that's the HANA Cloud Provisioning and Database Administration. Then in the next run, when also the Joule for Consultants will be added to the certification, there will be a new course in the learning journey. That's the HC2AI, and that's all the AI features that we have in HANA Cloud for the admin to do database administration. And then, of course, migrating from HANA on-prem to HANA Cloud is also, I think, important nowadays. That's why we have a migration course for this as well. And then the whole certification is cloud-based, but I don't want to forget about HANA on-prem, because still a lot of customers have HANA on-prem. So that's why in the learning journey, I also include the HA200. That's the basis course for every HANA database administrator, where you really learn how HANA works. And then that one is included. And then the last thing, of course, this link here is the certification where you can start it. This is the same for the data engineer. Similar setup with the courses. The links will be in the presentation, so that would be very easy for you to get it all done. And let's see if my enable now is here. This is a recording that I made just in case it didn't work. And of course, it then doesn't work. So this is actually the same idea. You have to sign into learning.sap.com, username, password. Go to, definitely if you don't have an account yet there and no subscription, you can go in there and then get a subscription if you want. If you then have your subscription, you get some confirmation emails that you have to say, yes, I'm really this email address and that kind of stuff. You know how that works. And then you start searching for the certification. It will find the learning journey, the certification itself. You can then scroll through all the learnings that are necessary. And then, of course, you want to register that slot. That's the same what I did before. So then I picked on April 30 at 10 o'clock, was actually a better time. Confirm the booking. And then, of course, you have to wait until the 3 hours have passed. But here I can just click to the next one. Then go back to my learning.sap.com account, have a look for the certification, go to the certification exam. And here we are then seeing what you have to do. So it says, okay, you have to make sure that this is all set up. Don't have a second BTP tab open or browser account because that might maybe mix it up during the certification. Yeah, and here then it's, okay, now you can start your exam. And this point was a little bit tricky because you have to click on your activity. If you don't do this, you think, where is the next button, then I can start the bloody thing. And you're already a little bit nervous, so that's easy to then make the mistake that you don't click on that one. But if you click on that one, it actually goes, and you have to then confirm that you are okay with all the things that SAP says for the rules there. Just mark the checkbox and start the exam. Then you start the exam. Then you get a group number. That's really important for some certifications, not for this one, and also enrollment ID. The enrollment ID is important when there is some problem with your certification and you tried it and something goes wrong in the BTP or whatever. Copy that ID in the case you open so that then we can have a look in the back end what went wrong. And if everything was recorded, but somehow the checking did not work, we can still assign you the certification because you passed. But then the system just couldn't check. You also have step 2 here. That's the PDF where then the tasks are mentioned, what you have to perform in the system. So you have to download this, open up in the second tab, or if you have 2 monitors, perfect, then you have the task on monitor 1. And that's actually maybe the better way to do it. And this is then the PDF you get. It nicely describes everything what to do. And you get then Unit 1, Task 2. It says you have to do this and this in your BTP account. And then if you look through these tasks before you start now access to the practice system, then your time is not running out yet. So that's good. You can just first, okay, I know this, I don't know this one. Just quickly have a search on the internet. That's all possible. And then you go access the practice system, and then you end up in a real BTP sub-account. That sub-account is completely empty, and the tasks exactly explain to you what you need to do. So maybe you have to set up the SAP HANA Cloud Central first, that it's there. That's all in the task as descriptions what you need to do. And just quickly click to some of these things. You really have a normal working BTP sub-account. And you can even go back again to the tab for the practice system. Say, yes, I'm done. Then it asks you, are you really sure that you want to stop the certification? Because I only did here the first task, so we know what the results will be. I will fail. But that's okay. Then it says, okay, your enrollment is removed, the practice system has been blocked, and then you can go over to your certification attempt, and you see you passed or failed. This passed or failed will take like, I think, 5 minutes. They always say 15 minutes, but it's really quick. And that is what I wanted to show you, how the certification works. And here you have all the links where you then can have a look at also some question and answers, frequently asked questions, some tips how to do it, some troubleshooting if there are some problems. So from that point, I think, thank you for attending. Hopefully you have now a better look on how the certification, the new one, will work really in the system. Do you have any questions?
Good cue.
And nowadays I can actually give you the answers to the 80 questions because they are not valid anymore.
All right, so are there any questions on the process? On the options you have maybe to get certified? So that's maybe a question from my side. I think we've database administration was the focus, but are there any other certification options as well?
Currently for the HANA we have also the data modeling, and also in the BDC side there's also a little bit HANA below it. There's also a lot of certifications. Actually those are Joodly, so the AI certification where you have to talk to the AI and give the answers. For the rest, all the business suite certifications that were available are now also all migrated either to the scenario-based or the system-based. So I think we have now like 150 or so certifications available.
Okay.
In this new setup.
Right. Seems like this brought up another question. There you go. Oh, yeah, perfect.
Okay, I'll try my luck in this question. Are there any plans for other, technology or certifications to follow this kind of format?
So currently the idea is that all the certifications that we have already have been moved to this new format. And for the Stay Certified, that's if you went once through the certification, you can do the Stay Certified. Currently, this is still the 8 to 12 questions that you quickly go through and you pass and you have your exam of your certification extended for a year. For the Stay Certified, there is now a project running that we're also going to do this with hands-on, or that you have to explain scenarios or discuss it with the AI, and the AI will then go through the option and say you passed or failed. And if you're not allowed from your employer, then what can happen is that you then just make a video recording of what happens with the AI. So your whole discussion with the AI, and then you can upload the video to the website from SAP, and then a human will actually look at the video and see what your answers are. But for the system base, it's luckily not necessary because you really have to do hands-on in the system. Just prove to us that you know how to work in the BTP with the SAP HANA Cloud.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Any further questions here in the room? If that is not the case, then thank you so much, Hai, for your session.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
if we can bring up the slide with the QR code, we can also ask for some session feedback, as this will definitely be of interest for you, I guess.
Yeah.
Awesome.